सब गए मेरे पीछे। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
द्रव उस दशरथ अजीर बिहारी,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
प्राण जाई वरु बचन न जाई,
श्री राम जय राम।
बिनु सत्संग विवेक न होई,
श्री राम जय राम।
राम कृपा बिनु सुलभ न सोई,
श्री राम जय राम।
नहीं कली कर मन भगति विवेकु,
श्री राम जय राम।
राम नाम अवलंबन एकु,
श्री राम जय राम।
बड़े भाग मानुष तन पावा,
श्री राम जय राम।
सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथन ही गावा,
श्री राम जय राम।
रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई,
श्री राम जय राम।
प्राण जाई वरु वचन न जाई,
श्री राम जय राम।
अवध तहाँ जहाँ राम निवासु,
श्री राम जय राम।
दिवस तहाई जहाँ भानु प्रकाशु,
श्री राम जय राम।
नहीं कली कर मन भगति विवेकु,
श्री राम जय राम।
राम नाम अवलंबन एकु,
श्री राम जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय
जय राम। श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। Let us all join doing salutations to Lord Ganesh, to Mother Saraswati, to Pujya Gurudev, भगवान राम, हनुमान जी। गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं कपितजम्बो फलसारभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम् या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः लोकाभिरामम् रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं नरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी जिनके सत्संग अति अति प्यारी श्री राम
जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम बरने लागा सुनत ही सीता कर दुख भागा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
राजा राम 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 सीता
राम राम। श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। साथी है मित्र गंग के जल बिंदु पान तक। अर्धांगिनी बढ़ेगी तो केवल मकान तक। परिवार के सब लोग चलेंगे स्मशान तक। बेटा भी हक निभाएगा तो अग्निदान तक। इससे तो आगे, इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा। कायम न जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा। कायम जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का कायम न जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा। कायम जग का जमेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे, इससे तो आगे, इससे तो आगे। If you're joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing now Bal Kanda of this Sri Ramacharita Manas, the first Kanda. And we are going at a very fast pace. We crossed 300 dohas already. And if we don't go at this pace, we will not finish the whole Ramayana. So we have to go at this very fast pace. We are at the point now just before the marriage of Bhagwan Sri Ram. There are preparations going on. And the Bharat has come from Ayodhya. It has reached Janakpur. Everybody settled in and everything. And now they are getting prepared for this wedding. If we see now, just after 3:11, those of you who have your Ramayana, and I notice in this Yajna, a lot of people are walking with their Ramayana on their phones and their iPads and their various types of devices and all that kind of thing. That is a very good sign. Everybody should be reading. Ramayana is there meant for everybody to read and to study and to listen to. So, after 3:11 now, this is preparations for this wedding. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Ehi vidhi sakala मनोरथ करही श्री राम जय जय राम आनंद उमगहि उमग उर भरही श्री राम जय जय राम आनंद उमगे उमगे उर भरही श्री राम नृपसीय स्वयंवर आए श्री राम जय राम देखी बंधु सब तिन्ह सुख पाए श्री राम जय राम कहत राम जसु विसद विशाला श्री राम जय राम निज निज भवन गए महिपाला श्री राम जय राम गए बीति कछु दिन एहि भांति श्री राम जय प्रमुदित पुरजन सकल बराती श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। यही विधि सकल मनोरथ करही Ananda umagi umagi ura bharahi jendripa. Now, the reason why I am chanting certain, see, in 80 verses, I cannot chant 80 verses. That is why we have Baba chanting before. So I have to select which verses to chant, you know. So I am selecting those which are very striking, which have values in them, which have main points to be made. I have to select. Every morning I do that and I send it to these brahmacharis and all. It's not so easy. You have to go through 80, 90, 100 verses and then select just about 10. That means you have to know all what is there. See all what is there. So here is, in these verses which we just chanted, a very important point. Many kings and princes had come there to vie for the hand of Sita Ji in marriage, correct or not? Many had come. So, if everybody is vying for the hand of Sita ji in marriage, that means they are all competitors to Bhagwan Ram. Right? And we have a habit that in competition, we always dislike the other side, the other team. Eh? And we tease them. Bhagwan Ram's nature, this is the point now, and this is throughout the Ramayana we will see this thing. Bhagwan's nature is such that even his opponents and his enemies loved him. But that is a peculiar thing. Huh? That his nature is so compassionate, so sweet, so loving, that even his enemies will love him. This is the point. Jain Nripa, Siya Swayamvar Aaye, those kings and princes who had come there to the Swayamvar of Sita ji. Dekhi Bandhu Sab Tina Sukha Paye, seeing Ram and all his brothers, they became happy. The competitors also became happy. Otherwise, a competitor is one who, when you get this thing and he is the competitor, he doesn't like you anymore. They became Kahata Rama Jasu Bisada Bisala. They spoke about the spotless glory of Bhagwan Sri Ram. Nija Nija Bhavana Gaye Mahipala. And after speaking, extolling the virtues and glory of Bhagwan Ram, they all went to their respective places. So in other words, the personality should be so wonderful that even an enemy cannot help but love that person. The personality should be like that. Bhagwan's personality. You see, it's like Gaye Biti now. Tulsidaji continues the story. There says Gaye Biti Kachudin Ehi Bhanti. Now see, remember the Bharat from Ayodhya is already here. But when a Bharat leaves from there, it would have taken such a long time to reach, 1 month maybe. Because in those days they're going with horses and chariots and this and that. And the distance from Ayodhya to Janakpur is a long way. 500 what? Kilometers. 500 kilometers in those days. Hey, look, nowadays, just we come from Kuva to here. And speeding on highway and all that thing, it takes this time. Imagine they're going slowly in a caravan like. So it's a long way. So they had come and they don't know which time they will reach and this and that. You're just going. But it says, Gaye Biti, Kachu, Dina Gaye, Ehi Bhanti. Some days went away like that. They already here settled in and all, and the days passed. Murdita Purajana, Sakala Bharati. The Bharatis enjoyed the scenery and all things in Janakpur. Getting to see new things, people like that. So they enjoyed for a few days. Then what? The time for that wedding had come, and everything in Hinduism has a timing, you know. Tulsidaji describes now after those same verses. Mangala Moola Ragana Dinu Aava
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Himaritu Agahanu Mas Suhava
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Graha Tithi Rakhatu Jogavar Baru
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Lagan So Dividhi Kina Vicharu
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Pethe Dini Narad Sana Soi
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Gani Ganak Ke Gan Kanha Joi
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Suni Sakal Logan Ramachandra ki jai. Mangal mool lagan dinu awa. Lagan sodhi vidhi keenhas bicharu. Brahmaji thought the right time has. Who is thinking of Brahmaji? The one who manifests this whole universe. Brahmaji thinks. Mangal mool lagana dinu awa. The auspicious time and day and date and day of the week and everything, it all came together now. Graha. All the planetary systems, tithi, date, nakshatra, constellation. Jogubara baru. Proper time. Appropriate time. Himaritu. Agahanu masa suhava. Agahanu is Margashirsha. Margashirsha comes from about middle of, this is when Bhagwan Ram got married. In exact date and all, people give many dates. Middle of December to middle of January, like that. Therefore it is written here, Hima Ritu. Hima Ritu means cold time. Cold. And especially there, in Janakpur, there's snow also. Because it's way north. So, Hima actually means snow, ice, like that. Himaritu Agahanu Masu, the month of Margashirsha. So, Brahmaji thought, oh, the right time has come. Then what? He writes it down on a piece of paper. Write down everything, time and date and everything, and he sent Naradji. But this is the only and one time Naradji brings straight message. Naradji come there with the message to Janakpur. Pate dini Narad sana soi gani janakake ganakanha joy. And the Jyotishi is here in Janakpur also. Sitaji's father, the Jyotishi is there. They checked they did their own checking. This is a nice thing, important thing also. The Jyotishis of Janakji Maharaj, they did their own checking for the time and date and lagan, right? And Brahmaji did. And he sent it Naradji. And in the second line, the Suni Sakala Gani Janakke Ganakanha Joyi. It means when they checked the two, it matched perfectly. Janakji's Jyotishis and Brahmaji's Jyotish. It matched perfectly. Then, Suni Sakala Logana Yahabata, when everybody heard this thing in Janakpur, Kahahi Jyotishi Ahi Vidata. Maybe our Jyotishi is here, Jyotishi in English is what? Astrologers, yeah. Our astrologers here, maybe they came from Brahmaji only. The people were so happy. And this is an important thing. Why I'm telling is an important thing? You please see. Tell me if you have not heard. You have heard this. I have heard. I'm sure you would have heard also. If you go by two Jyotish, you hear two different stories. That is correct or not? Huh? But that's not supposed to be. Brahmaji checked and wrote it down. And all the Jyotish here in Janakpur, they checked. And when they put the two together, perfect match. That is what the line says. Gani Janakake Ganakanha Joyi. Pathe Dinhi Narada Sana Soi. Whatever Brahmaji Soi, whatever Brahmaji had gotten, is all exactly what the Jyotish here in Janakpur got. But it's supposed to be like that. That means people study this thing properly. Because people go on asking questions like this all the time. Swamiji, all the thing is real. This is true. They could really tell. This, that. Jyotish is Veda Anga. It's one of the Angas of Vedas. It means to say it's a perfect science. Our problem is not the science. Our problem is the people who study the science. Not the science is perfect. Our problem, and you know what is the biggest problem in all of that? People are really not honest. If I am going to study this science, this is a perfect science, I have to dedicate my life to this. These are, the Vedas are like this, right? They have different departments. And if I am going to study this thing, I should dedicate my life to that branch and that branch alone. That's why Janakji Maharaj has Jyotishis who do Jyotish alone. I have to dedicate my life. What we do, we study a little bit at this, a little bit at that, a little bit at the other thing, and we don't know any one of them properly. Because you only get a little bit at this, a little bit at that. And so then when you go, this fella get a little bit, that fella get a little. Let me just tell you a story. And honesty in itself is a very, very big thing actually. And also, tamas, we should not be lazy. I mean, I have to apply myself to the grindstone. This Jyotish requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of work. Not just you think you'll go on. One man I saw, he's studying Jyotish from a teacher. The teacher cannot speak English. And this man cannot speak Hindi. Listen to the story. 1 month he going there, every day. And how long it lasts? 1 hour class. 1 hour class. And it goes for a month. So the teacher cannot speak English and this man cannot speak Hindi. So the teacher speaking in Hindi, and there is an interpreter in the middle and telling to this man in English. And then this man has to tell back the interpreter in whatever, in English, and the interpreter tells the teacher in Hindi. And you're going for 1 month for 1 hour a day. So you count. You have to divide that 1 hour by 4. It's 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day. How long you learn Jyotish for? 15 minutes a day. Because when he speaks in Hindi, this fella has to speak in English to this man has to speak back in English to this man, and this man has to speak back in Hindi to this man. So that's 15 minutes only, correct or not? That's correct calculation? 15 minutes Jyotish for 30 days. 15 minutes, so that's like total, if you add up, about 7 hours. And the man, at the end, he proclaims himself to be a qualified Jyotish. He proclaims himself to be qualified Jyotish. Why? He learned Jyotish in India. Hare Rama, people has learned their whole life. Like Khandani means coming from father to son, and the son still don't claim, I am a qualified Jyotish. He still don't claim, I am a qualified Jyotish. So that's why I say laziness, then lack of honesty, and so many things are there. That is why when you go, this one tell you, I'm telling nothing is wrong with the science, something wrong with the scientist. This one will tell one story and another, and you know, it leads to all sorts of things. All sorts of bad things it leads to. So if we are going to do Jyotish, that is a proper science, dedicate your life. Dedicate your life to that thing. It's a proper science and can be done nicely, and you will become a perfect Jyotish. Astrologer. This is what people don't want to do. So here, what a perfect match between what was told by Brahmaji and what all the astrologers told here in Janakpur. And so the people were very happy. They were thinking, our Jyotish has come from Brahmaji or what? Or is Brahmaji manifest here or what? How good it was. Time and all such things. And what time of the day it was? In the Doha, you see. How they tell time. Dhenu dhuri bela. Dhenu dhuri bela. What is Dhenu Dhuri Bela? Bela means time, hour. That period. Huh? Bimala Sakala Sumangala Moola. Dhenu Dhuri means cow dust time. Cow dust time? How all cultures and civilization have their own way of telling time. Cow dust time means what? When the cows have grazed all day and they're coming back in the evening time, sun is setting, and all the cows coming, they raise a big dust. So that's cow dust time. That means what? Dusk. Around that time. Viprana kaheu. Bide hasana, jani saguna anukul. All the Pandits and all who were gathered there, they told to Janakji Maharaj, everything seems to be in order, things are looking good. Giving encouragement and all to Janakji Maharaj. Uparo hitahi kaheu naranaha aba bilamba karan kaha. O king, all the good signs are there everywhere in the air. What is the delay? No need for any delay. Then Satananda tava sachiva bolaye mangala sakala saji saba yaye. Shatananji Maharaj, the Kula Guru of Janakji, he called all the ministers and all the people and okay, now everything is in place. You all get everything ready. Sanka Nisan Panava Bahu Baje, they all started blowing their shankas. Indian civilization loves shanks, like to blow shank. Auspicious sound. Mangala Kalas Saguna Suba Saje, and decorated kalash placed everywhere. How this culture has so many different things that we can keep ourselves busy. And it's an art by itself to take kalash and paint them. The person who dedicates his life to that type of thing, it's such a refined art. So also, people, see, this is here, you take a kalash, and you get your paint and your brush and all that, and you brush nicely, you paint nicely, and you get it symmetrical and all that kind of thing. Your hands will be used, your attention will be centered, means concentration will be there. So many things to be developed. What do you want to go and do? Play pool. Or some other thing. Huh? There, then what? You're competing with somebody else. And that competition, then developing what? And behind in the back some kind of music playing. But these are all refined arts that are there that you can take up in your spare time to decorate kalash and also. They are a big part of the culture. Subhaga Swasini Gavahi Geet. All the married women started singing beautiful songs and all that. Karahibe, the Dhuni Bipra Punita, and all the learned people started chanting Vedic mantras and all that. All different things started happening. A big amount of things happening at the same time. And people say, no, Swamiji, too much noise, Pandits chanting Vedas, the women singing song there, people blowing shank and trumpet and playing kettle drum on that side. And when you go to a Hindu marriage, you see all kind of things going on one time, isn't it? Different things. They say, too much noise, man. But you don't worry. Bhagwan is Sahasra Shirsha. Bhagwan has 1,000 heads. That means 2,000 ears. Don't worry about that. He go hear everything one time. But when you go other places, the same thing happens, right? But that time you don't complain. So all kind of noise. So anyway, all of this now. Bhagya Vibhava Avadhe Sakara Dekhi Dev Brahmaji and all the Devatas now. They saw Dasharatji on his side and wondering how fortunate he is. See, this is now 3, 1, 3. Bhagya Vibhava Avadhe Sakara Dekhi Dev Brahmadi Rama Dekhi Dev Brahmadi Lage Sarahana Sahasa Mukha Jani Janam Nij Badisiya
शरणं पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम
भाग्य विभव अवधेश कर देखी देखी देव ब्रह्मादि. All devatas and Brahmaji, they look now at who? Janakji Maharaj, Dasharathji Maharaj. He is there in all his resplendence and in all his glory. And today his son is going to get married, Dasharathji Maharaj. And all the devatas, including Brahmaji, they look and they see the glory of Dasharathji Maharaj. And what they are thinking? Lage sarahan sahasa mukha jahi jani janama nija badi. They are thinking, oh, our birth did not bear any fruit. Our birth was vyartha, useless. How? This is Brahmaji and all the devatas. Because none of them ever had a son who had such a wedding with such glory. So they are also thinking. All the devatas, including Brahmaji. Surana Sumangala Avasaru Jana, they knew it was an auspicious time, a once in a lifetime experience to go and see the wedding of Parabrahma Paramatma, the absolute reality manifest. And they themselves could not have as a son, Brahmaji or Indra, none of them. So they thought, what a auspicious, and then naturally what they'll do, rain down flowers. We've been seeing this since the Yajna started. I don't know how much flowers we don't get. They like to rain down flowers all the time. Shiva Brahma Dika Vibhuda Barutha Chade Vimanahi Nana Jutha. All of the devatas, including Lord Bhagwan Shiva, Brahmaji and Indra and all of them, they all started decorating, started getting into their decorated Vahan. Vahan means, what is that? Aerial chariots. Aerial chariot. Viman. Pushpaka Viman ityadi. That is called in modern language UFOs. They all got into their respective UFO. Prema pulakatana hridaya uchahu chale vilokana ramavi ahu. They all got there and came there with their hearts overflowing with love to see what? The wedding of Ram. Chale bilokana ramabiyahu. They came to see the wedding of the absolute reality itself. Dekhi janakapura sura anurage nija nija lok sabahi lagu lage. Seeing Janakpur and the decorations and the preparations and all the arrangements that Janakji had made, and Sitaji summoning all the siddhis and all the things which we saw last night. Seeing all of that, the devatas thought, but our Sura Lok is less. Janakpur is so beautiful, exquisitely beautiful. What is it? It is, our Lok is Lagu Lage. Lagu means small, of less significance. They thought. Tinai dehi saba sura nari. No. Chitavai chakita vichitra vitana rachana sakala alaukika nana. The arrangements made there was in Janakpur was out of this world. That is the idea. Nagar nari rupa nidhana. People were so beautiful, Janakpur people, and dressed so nicely. Madhura, Sugara, Madhurama, Sudharama, Susila Sujana. This is description of the people of Janakpur. And the reason why Tulsidashi does all of this is Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. As is the Raja, the king, the leader, so will be the citizens also. So he's describing the citizens. So from the citizens you can know how the king is. Either way. From the king, the ruler, the leader, the president, the prime minister, whoever, from them you can know how the people are. And or the other way. That is why it is so important for leaders. Mukhya mukh ho chahiye, we had seen in one of the previous nights. Khan pan kawek. Palana poshana sakal anga. Tulasi sahita vivek. The leader, king should be an exemplar with selflessness. That is the idea. If he himself leader is the opposite of that, everybody will be opposite of that. The important thing, all leaders and such people in leadership positions. Tinai dekhi sab suranari bhaye nakhat janu vibhuta ujiyari. When the devatas and their wives saw, or the wives of the devatas saw all the people and women of Janakpur dressed up so nicely, they felt they were like stars, and these people like moon. When moon comes out, who looks at stars? In fact, you can't see any star that time. Bidhi vayau acharaju biseshi nijakarani kachu katahu na dekhi. Brahmaji sees Janakpur and sees the beauty of Janakpur, and Brahmaji, it thinks in his mind, in Trini language, where is this? I never manifest anything so beautiful. Because anything that is manifest in the universe has to be manifested through Brahmaji only, isn't it? And he is seeing this beauty. He himself cannot believe that he manifested this. Brahmaji could not believe the beauty which had manifested in Janakpur. Now, very interesting. Tulsidaji gives a very prominent role to Lord Shiva in this Ramcharitamanas. From every angle, Lord Shiva, he addresses all the devatas who are there. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
शिव समझाए देव सब जनि आचरज भुआन, हृदय विचारहु धीर धरी, सिय रघुवीर बियाहु सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीतारामा,
सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीतारामा, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीतारामा.
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. शिव समुझाए देव सभा. Bhagwan Shiva now addresses all the devatas who are there. And what is his address? Jani acharaja bulaha. Bulahu means none of you should at all be in any way surprised or astounded. First thing, you should not be surprised. Why? Why you should not be surprised or astounded? Are bhaiya, hridaya vicharahu dheer dhari siyarago veera biyahu. This is not any ordinary wedding. ये साधारण विवाह नहीं है. This is not any sadharan vivaha. This is the wedding of Sita and Ram. Why are you all, Brahmaji thinking, I have never seen any such beauty, very surprising. The Devata, we pale into insignificance in front of all the people here and all. But of course, you thought you were so big all this time. This is Parabrahman, Paramatma, the absolute reality manifest. This is his wedding. How anything that you have made in the past could ever match that? So you should not be surprised in any way. This is Bhagwan Shiva tells very nicely to all of them. Who is this Ram and who is this? He describes it now in the Chopai, just following that only. How nicely he tells. Not any ordinary being. जिनकर नाम लेत जग माही.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
सकल अमंगल मूल न साही।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
करतल होई पदारथ चारी।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
जय सिया राम कहेउ कामारी।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
जय रघुराम।
जय रघुराम।
जय सीताराम।
जय सीताराम।
जय श्री राम।
जय श्री
Syavara Ramachandra ki jai. Who is this Ram whose wedding we have come to? Not any ordinary being. Jina kara naam let jag mahi sakal amangal moola nasahi. This is the Ram, just by remembering whose name all amangal, all impurities, all evil, all such things, all non-essentials, all undesirable things from our life just vanish. They are destroyed in a moment just by remembering whose name. That Ram, not any ordinary marriage, any ordinary being, any ordinary function that we have come to. Lord Shiva is explaining to all his devatas. Kartal, in his hands are the fourfold fruits of life. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In the palm of his hands. Hohi padartha chari. Jai Siya Ram kaheu kamari. This is the wedding of that Sita to that Ram. That Ram who is Kamari, the enemy of Kama. Ehi vidhi sambu surana samujhava punyage barabasana chalawa. Devan dekhe dasratu jata mahamod mana pulakita gata. Seeing Dasharath ji now in the group surrounded by all of his people. Sadhu samaj sanga mahi deva janu tanu dhare karahi sukha seva. Sohat sat subhaga sutachari janu apavarga sakala tanudhari. Surrounded by all his people and his 4 sons. How Dasharath ji Maharaj looked like? Surrounded by the 4 types of mukti, moksha. 4 types of moksha are there. 4 types of moksha means what? There is Salokya Mukti, there is Samipya Mukti, there is Sarupya Mukti, and there is Sayujya Mukti. 4 types of muktis are described in the scriptures. When one leaves this body, one can go to Salokya, the same world as Bhagwan, Saket Loka, whatever Loka of that form of Bhagwan. Kailash, Vaikuntha Lok, whichever Lok of the Ishta Devata. So it's called Salokya. Not only one can go there, Salokya, one can go there and be close to Bhagwan also, Samipya. Samip means close. Nazdik. Then, not only one can go there and be close, but one can go there and have the form of Bhagwan also, whatever form he has. Can get that form. Sarupya. And finally, Sayujya. One can go and merge with Bhagwan, never to be seen again. Merge. Sayujya. So, Tulsidas describes Dasharath ji Maharaj and all the gods are looking on. They saw him coming with his 4 sons. He looked like he was surrounded by the 4 types of moksha, mukti. How nice it is. Description. Like that, so many different types of description. Rama Rupa Nakasika Subhaga Barahi Barani Hari Pulaka Gata Lochana Sajala Uma Sameta Purari. Bhagwan Shiva. This 315. Bhagwan Shiva himself seeing Rama, looking at him from head to toe, as we say, that Bhagwan Shiva himself got welled up, along with Parvati ji, got welled up with tears in his eyes. Pulakagat and hair standing on end, and Lochana Sajala, eyes filled up with tears. The Lord, Bhagwan Shiva, filled up with tears, seeing Bhagwan Ram coming. Then, with his father. And how Bhagwan Ram was coming? Bhagwan Ram climbed up on a horse. Tulsidas describes the horse also. Just a few lines down. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Jai Turang Par Ram Biraje.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Gati Bilokhi Khaganaya Kusa Laje.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
कहीं न जाए सब भांति सुहावा.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
बाजवेशु जनु काम बनावा.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
जय रघुरामा.
Jaya Raghurama.
जय सीतारामा.
Jaya Sita Rama.
जय श्री रामा.
Jai Shri Rama.
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय. जय तुरंग पर राम बिराजे. There's a tradition there. I don't think we still do it in Trinidad. The dulha comes on a horse. Have you seen? We do here? We don't do. We do? But this is very popular in North India. Sometimes you get scared if the dulha is a big guy. Okay, getting up and getting down from the horse, that is, get scared actually. Bhagwan Ram climbed up on this horse and he is coming there. And Tulsidas takes time to describe the horse also. They didn't, see, if the greatest being in the universe, the absolute reality who is the substratum, the sthana of the whole universe, if he has taken human form and he is getting married, what, you will go and get the worst horse for him? You will go and get the best horse, isn't it? You will not go and get the worst horse. You tell the horse, giddy up, he goes backwards. There's like Grover and his Fred. Grover has a horse named Freddy Boy. Grover sit down on the horse and he facing the back. Instead of facing front, he facing the tail. So a man come and he said, Grover, you're facing the wrong direction. Grover said, well, you don't know which side I'm going? You don't want to get a horse and rider like Grover and Fred. You want to get the best horse in the universe. Tulsidas takes time to Gati bilo ki khaganaya kulaje. This is the line. Garudji feels ashamed in front of this horse. Garudji is known to be the fastest being in the universe. Fastest being in the universe. Faster than sound is light. Faster than light is Garudji. And only thing faster than Garudji is mind. So Garudji is the fastest thing in the nature outside. Faster than light also. And Garudji feels ashamed in front of this horse. This is the description, how the comparison is made to tell which horse they got for Bhagwan. It means to say that horse had to be as fast as the mind. Isn't it? So fast. Kahi na jai savabanti suhava. Nobody could describe. And Tulsidas, even after saying nobody could describe, he still takes time to describe. Baji beshu janu kama banawa. And the beauty of the horse is such that it is as though Kamadev incarnated as that horse. Kamadev is said to be the most beautiful being in the world, as though he incarnated as the horse. So not any ordinary horse like that. So you're getting, actually this is the little lessons or the little things to remember in all of this is the nature of the one we are serving will determine how we will serve. So if he is the most esoteric being in the universe, if he is the greatest being in the universe, well, everything that you get from him has to also be the greatest, isn't it? You can't go and get anything like that. And we'll chant the next verse. These are all Tulsidaji does some wonderful things, I tell you. When you're a poet has so many wonderful devices in his hands. Hari hit sahit Ram jab jo hai, Rama samet Ramapati mohe.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Nirakhi Ram chhavi vidhi har shane, Aathava jana jani pehchane. सनेप उर बहुत उछाहू विदिते देवर लोचन लाहू.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
राम ही चितव सुरेश सुजाना, गौतम श्राप परम हित माना.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
देव सकल सुरपति सिंहाही, आज पुरंदर सम को नाही.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. You see, the poet is telling the whole story of this Ramcharitmanas, and all he could have said was, well, Bhagwan Shiva was present there, Bhagwan Brahmaji was present there, Indra was, that's how we just talk, because we are not poets. Who was present in that wedding? Well, Lord Shiva was there. Because we are ordinary people, but Tulsidas ji, instead of telling Lord Shiva was present, Indra was present, Brahmaji was present, all who were present and all, Lord Vishnu was present, everybody, that's a, what you call, dry language. But a poet mixes ras in that language, and that's why it is so pleasurable just to read. Harihita Sahita Ram Jabas Johe Rama Samet Ramapati Mohe Niraki Ram Chabi Bidhi Harishane. He is describing now Bhagwan Vishnu was there along with Rama. Rama means Lakshmi. Rama. You have to learn to say the words and all properly. Rama. Rama means Lakshmi ji. She was present. And both of them, they were Mohe. Mohe means the beauty of Ram and the beauty of Janakpur and the beauty of everything there that they saw made them also deluded. The beauty was so much. So, the poet is telling something about Bhagwan Vishnu, so then you know that Bhagwan Vishnu was present. He just doesn't say they were present. Like that. Dry poetry. Nirakhi Ram Chabi Bidhi Harishane. And Brahmaji seeing Bhagwan Ram was so happy. No, Brahmaji was there. Aathai Nayana Jani Pehchane. Now, what he tells? Brahmaji with his 8 eyes. 8 eyes. How he has 8 eyes? Because he has 4 heads. If you have 4 heads, you must have 8 eyes. So Brahmaji was happy that he could have looked with his 8 eyes. Then, Sura se nap ura bahuta uchahu, and the major general of the army of the gods, he was there, and he was more happy than Brahmaji. Why? Because he had 12 eyes. He could see with only 12 eyes. This is Kartikeya. He's called Sharanan. Sharanan means 6 heads. So if 6 heads, 12 eyes. Sharanan. So he was happy, like, Bidhite Devar Lochana Lahu. He was more happy than Brahmaji, and he said, I am more fortunate than Brahmaji only. He only has 8 eyes. I have 1.5 times more. Like that. Or half time more. Rama hi chitava suresa sujana Gautama shrapa parama hitamana. And Indra said, always nothing. I have 1,000 eyes. Sahasa Nayana. This will come up again in Ayodhya Kand. Suraghur Brihaspati Ji Maharaj will tell him, even though you have 1,000 eyes, you're blind. 1,000 eyes with Indra. There's a terrible story of Indra and his 1,000 eyes. You'll have to go and read that yourself. I can't tell you from here. Terrible. Indra, 1,000. How he got 1,000 eyes? Anyway, you go and see that. Gautama Shrapa. Gautam Rishi had given Shrap and all that. It was included. But he said, thank God he gave me Shrap. Today I got 1,000 eyes. Now I can see this Shadi and see this wedding, this Vivaha and this marriage of Bhagwan Ram with 1,000 eyes. Better than Brahmaji, better than this Shadanan, better than everybody here. You could see. Deva Sakal and all the Devatas behind Indraji, they're saying no, they're very good and support their king like anything. Followers and supporters, it's a big thing actually. Deva Sakala Surapatihi Sihahi, they praise Indra. Aju Purandar Sama Kaunahi. Nobody could match we king today. We king have 1,000 eyes. He's seen better than everybody. Means get to see this marriage ceremony better than anybody. At one time seeing with 1,000 eyes. Bajahi Bajane Bidhi Bivida Pakara Nava Aru Nagara Sumangala Chara Sachi Sarada Rama Bhavani. Now it's an interesting thing. The wife of Suraguru, the wife of Indra, the wife of Sharda Amma means Saraswati Mata. Then Rama, wife of Bhagwan Vishnu, Bhavani, Gauri, all of them. J. Suratiya Suchi Sahaja Sayani. This is going on some more lines from where we were just now. You'll have to look for it. All of them, what they did, we came here and we're not getting a chance to see the Dulan. All of them took various forms. Kapatanari Baravesha Banai. They took on forms of other women, and they went now into Sitaji's quarters. The wives of rishis and wives of this, and they took on those forms, like that. Wife of the Brahmanas and wife of the Pandits, and like that, and they went there into Sitaji's. Mili Sakala Ranivasahi Jai Karahigana Kala Mangala Bani. And they were there, not just, we just came to see, no, they were singing nice songs and all, so nobody will think anything suspicious. So they went into the quarters there. Harasha Vivasa Saba Kahuna Jani. Nobody knew where they were. Jo Sukh Bhasya Matu Mana. And the joy which was there in the heart of Sunayana. Sunayana is the name of Sitaji's mother. Jo Sukh Bhasya Matu Mana. Dekhi Ram Barabesh. And Sunayana also seeing this Ram. You see how you can learn everything from Ramayana? You don't have to be in that situation to learn, You just have to study Ramayana only, read the Ramayana. So from this I know, and the men who are here, you will know, that when a mother sees the intended husband of her daughter, how the mother gets joy. Huh? You don't have to be in the situation to know. The Ramayana describes this thing. When Sunayana saw Rama, and Rama coming as a dulha to marry her daughter, Jo sukh bha siya matu mana, this is 318. Dekhi Ram bar beshu, so na sakai kahi kalapa sata sahas sarada seshu. If Sharda, Saraswati Mata, and Seshanag, with all of their superior eloquence, try to describe, even in Kalpasata, in 100 eons, they will not be able to describe the joy which Sunayana felt seeing Rama come to marry her daughter. See the description. So then you know, oh, the mother also has this feeling of so much of joy. Bhagwan Ram, Samaya Samaya Sura Barashahi Phula Santi Parahi Mahisura Anukula. All the devatas kept raining down flowers again and again, and looking at the auspicious time and all the arrangements that were there, they kept on bringing down flowers. Ehi Vidhi Rama Mandapahi Ai. And like that, Rama and his horse came and they brought him to the mandap. Now today's section almost finished and you only reached the mandap there. I told you now, this wedding will not happen today. This wedding will happen because Tulsidaji goes on to a lot of description. E Vidhi Rama Mandapahi Aye Araghu Dei Asana Baithaye. Arghya I gave to wash his hands. That's not when I came back. I gave to wash hands. Arghya. Then Tulsidaji describes Chanda. बैठारी आसन आरती करी निरखी बरु सुख भावहि मणि वसन भूषण भूरि वारहि नारी मंगल गावहि ब्रह्मादि सुरवर विप्रवेश बनाई कौतुक देखहि अवलोकि रघुकुल कमल रवि छवि सुफल जीवन लेखहि श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरन भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम. Baithari asana arati kari. Bhagavan sat there in the mandap and everybody there did his arati also. Arati kari nirakhi baru sukhu pavahi. Then mani basana bhushana bhari barahi nari mangala gavahi. The women there sang beautiful songs and his Bhagavan Ram decorated in all his most wonderful clothing and all day. He was dressed up so nicely. Brahmadi Sura Bara Viprabesha Banai Kautuka Dekhi. Brahmaji, Vishnu Bhagavan, Lord Shiva, all of them, Indra, they took on different forms of Brahmanas. And they came and sat there. Because if Brahmaji comes now, he is Brahmaji. That is why Bhagavan Shiva also had not come to serve Bhagavan Ram as Shiva. He came as Hanumanji. Because if he came there, Shiva, Bhagavan Ram will say, no, I cannot take seva from you, you know. He came as Hanuman. Cannot allow you to do seva for me. If Brahmaji comes there, or Bhagavan Vishnu comes there, or whoever, and they come in their own form, Bhagavan Vishnu will come there and say, Chaturbhuj, 4 arms, Shankha Chakra Gada Hasta, with Shankha Chakra, everybody will forget and they'll start doing puja there, isn't it? So they came there as Brahmanas sitting there, all of them. Brahmadi Suravara Vipravesha Banai Kautuka Dekhi, to see this splendid event which was taking place. Avaloki Raghukula Kamala Rabi Chabi Suphala Jivana Lekhahi, to make their lives Suphal. Suphal we was singing previously. Suphal means Safal. Safal means fruitful. That our life will become fruitful when we see this marriage ceremony of such a being. Our life would have borne fruit. Our eyes would have become useful. Because the eyes only seeing all other things. What is that? Television and this movie and that movie. All false things, isn't it? So our eyes also. Avaloki Raghukula Kamala Rabi. That Bhagwan Ram, who is the son to the lotus of the Raghukula, the one who. And as they were doing arti, what they were offering, I want you to see this also. Very interesting. The lines have, this is 319. See. Chawari pai mudit asis hinai sire harashuna hridaya samay siya
Ramachandra ji ki jai sharanam pavan sut hanuman ki jai umapati mahadev ki jai bolo bhai sab santan ki jai Siyamar Ramachandra ki
jai sharanam. You know, when they were doing arti of Bhagwan Ram and all this type of thing, when they do arti, they put so much of gold and money and this and that, whatever they offer at the same time. So Tulsidas ji writes, now Bari, Bhat, Bhat and Nata means to say the Baba now is a now you know now. Now actually the word is a Baba, Baba who comes to shave the child. To shave and all. Now. Bari, torch bearers, and Bhat means bard, minstrels, the jesters and all that kind of thing. Those who do extolling the virtues of this family and that kind of. That is Bhat. And Nat means dancers. All the things that were offered to Bhagwan Ram or whatever was offered in Nichhavari, all the offerings, they took. This is a very interesting point. I mean, in Ramayana we see so many things which we also don't know. But I did not know. Means the people, the now and the torch bearers and whoever is there and the dancers and all, they took all the offerings. And they were very happy. Mudita. Asisa naisira. And they blessed also. Very happily. Harashuna hridaya samai. With so much of joy in their heart. Mile janaku dasarata ati priti. Now, remember Dasharath Maharaj is coming with Bhagwan Ram. They came to the mandap. Mandap is called Maro here. Huh? Maro? So the mandap word is used here. So when they came, Janakji Maharaj was there. So Dasharath Ji Maharaj met him there. Then, Tulsidas's description. Mile Janaku Dasarata ati priti. Dasharath Ji Maharaj and Janakji Maharaj met with so much of love. He says, Karibe dik laukik sabariti. And they followed Vedic and Laukik rules, law, riti, custom. According to the Vedic, the two samadhi will meet now. So the Vedic rules, they will have to do certain things. But then, apart from the Vedic rules which they have to follow when two of them meet, They laukik rule. Laukik means, hey, one king meeting another king. My samdhi meeting another samdhi. Ordinarily, just by your own emotion, you will meet another human being, especially when you know he's such a dharmic, dharmatma, that kind of thing. So following all laukik rules also. Milit maha do raja biraje upama khoji kabi laje. Tulsidaji says that as a poet, when I look for some comparison to tell about the meeting of Dasharathji Maharaj and Janakji Maharaj, to meet the meeting of these two great personalities, when I look for a comparison, I am ashamed I can't find any. As a poet, Kabi laje, Kabi becomes ashamed that there is no comparison, no simile, no metaphor, no nothing to tell about their meeting. That is the idea, he says. That leaves me speechless. And the description goes on in the last doha we'll see for tonight. That is 320. Important thing. Sadhu Samaj, Sant Samaj, Mahatmas, Rishis, Munis, all of them, they made sure that all of them were seated properly like that. This is a very, very big part of the tradition. And it is not, if you give Vamadev Rishi a nice seat, that will not do anything for Vamadev Rishi. He is already a Rishi. That will do something for you. Your consideration and thoughtfulness and your right sentiments and your chitta shuddhi and all that will come to me, isn't it? Not to Vamadev Rishi, where he is already gone. Tulsidashi describes in 320. Dev adik rishaya pooje mudit mahi. So Ram pooje mudit mahis. Diye divya asan sabahi, sab san lahi asis siya. Hare Ramachandra ji ki jai sharanam. Pavan sutta Hanuman ki jai. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Bolo bhai sab santan ki jai. Siyamar Ramachandra ki jai sharanam. Vamadev adik rishaya. Rishaya is plural, it's a Sanskrit word. Rishayaha in Sanskrit, plural, means all the rishis. How many or whatever number was there. All of them, Vamadeva, Adika means etc. Rishayaha, Puje, Mudita Mahis, the king, Janakji Maharaj, with so much of joy in his heart, he worshipped all of the rishis who were there. And dear Divya Asana Sabahi. And to all of them, he gave divine seats. That's Divya Asana, like that. Sabasana Lahi Asis. And took blessings from all of them. All wonderful parts of this tradition. No wedding yet. See all the formalities and all the requirements and everything being fulfilled. Still no wedding. Only Rama has come there yet. Tomorrow now, description, Sitaji. It will go now. Tulsidas will turn the camera from here to. He'll turn the camera from here to here. Sitaji's place now. Now all that description and all. Okay. Well, since we are doing the whole Ramayana, we have to do all of it. We can't leave out anything. We can't skip 10 dohas and then go to the wedding like that, you know. All right. Let me take a few moments to just tell you about a few of the things which are happening, and then we'll have Arati. Yeah? Okay. Pandit Ramesh today sang Doha. Thank you for coming. It's been a while. Good thing we had this satsang. We must see you, man. It's been a while, yeah. Thank you for coming out and singing Dasha Doha today. Um, tomorrow, Ram Krishna Mandir, Mahesh Road, Debe. Ram Krishna Mandir, Mahesh Road. Tomorrow. Okay. We're having on the 27th Shiv Ganga Yatra. We have this Yatra every year around Shivratri time. And because of the COVID, we have not been going. Usually we start in Ganga Thara and walk with Ganga Jal to some far place. To Patiram Chase, 5 days it takes. But since COVID, we have not been having. So this Shivratri also, on the 27th at 4 a.m., we'll go to Hanumanji in Datta Yoga Center, and we'll walk around Hanumanji there, parikrama, circumambulation for 108 times, starting at 4 a.m. Those of you who want to join, please do so. This is a symbolic yatra this time, not what we usually do. All right. The prasad today will be received by Mr. Ajoda Bhagavati. He one of the oldest founding members of this mandir. Ajoda ji. This is the whole Ramayana in a flash drive. We did in 2017-18 more than 500 hours of Ramayana. Whole Ramayana explained. And we are presenting to you and the members of your temple for your enjoyment. Okay, on a flash drive. Jai Sri Ram. Temple President Anirudh Budram. You'll say a few words? Please come.
Sitaram devotees,
Sitaram.
on behalf of the members of the Suchitris Ganesh Mandir, I would like to sincerely thank Swamiji Prakashananda and members of the Chinmaya mission of Trinidad and Tobago for gracing our mandir and to be part of this 108 Ramayana Yatra. Also, I would like to thank our spiritual leader, current spiritual leader of the mandir, Pandit Satish. Thanks also to the Pujari, Vinny. Wrong somewhere, right? Also, special thanks to Pandit Ramesh Kisun for being with us today. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Hans Hanuman Singh of Radio 101.7 FM and all sponsors for bringing this event live. For those who cannot be present, special thanks also to Ravi and Kiran Sound System. I would also like to thank Mr. Donald Singh and family for providing the refreshments and also to all those who contributed in any way. So, I would like to also thank all villagers and previous generations for upholding Dharma and guiding us through the last 107 years. Well, actually this year will be 107 years of hosting Ganesh Yajna in our mandir.
Wow.
I would like to thank everyone who would be supporting, joining us in celebrating 108th year celebration next year in 2023, including Pandit Swamiji.
Very good.
Thanks to all of you who are present here tonight and also all those who are listening from other parts of the country and also around the world. May everyone have a safe journey home. Ganesh Baba blessing to one and all. Sitaram.
Sitaram. Thank you, Anirudhji, for your nice and succinct vote of thanks. I just have a couple more announcements and then we'll have Arati. One is we're having Saturday Sanskara for children. This is an online program for children where there will be bhajan chanting, mantra chanting, Sanskrit learning and all such things. You can sign up your children and from home itself they will learn for 2 hours on Saturdays. Okay. So please do sign up your children and you don't have to go anywhere. You can sign up from home itself. On 6th of March, we're having Jalpan Express. Not Jalpan Express, Jalpan Extravaganza. I mean, we're having a mini food fair at the ashram. You all can come out and try all the delectable dishes like dosa and gourmet pizza and pizzoti and so many things will be there. A lot of Indian dishes. You can come, paneer and different things like that. Samosa, chai. So please come out, and if you can donate anything, any ingredient for that 6th of March, there's a list at the bookstall at the back. You can give some flour, give some rice, give something, whatever. Aloo, chana. Okay. 10% off on selected texts at the back at the bookstore today. Valentine's special. On your way out, you please look at the bookstore. There are so many titles that you can buy for yourself and for your friends as gifts and all. Okay. आरती के लिए खड़े हो जाइए. कल देखेंगे मोयस रोड में. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि ज्ञान विशारद. सुख सनकादिशेष और सारद वरनि पवन सुत कीरति नीकी. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी. गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस. मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस सार हंस सम्मत सब ही की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. गावत संतत शंभु भवानी अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी. व्यास आदि कवि वर जब खानी काग भुषुंड गरुड़ के ही. रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी सुभग सिंगार मोती जुबती. जलन रोग भव मूल्यमी की. गाछ मात सब विधि तुलसी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी. श्री राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय जय मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णुः मङ्गलं गरुडध्वजः मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षं मङ्गलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर